Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All-Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and my guest today is Jameisha Armstrong. How are you doing today, Jameisha?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for talking to me on the go.
Good. I'm honored.
Of course, I'm excited to hear what all you have going on right now, but I would love to hear what you had going on before you decided to start your preschool journey.
So before working my 9 to 5 and pretty much just being a mom. So my 9 to 5, I basically am a collector. So of course, talking to different people, trying to collect different monies and things of that nature. And then so from there, it was like, just trying to figure out life and if this is something I really want to do and how far I want to stay with the company, how long I want to stay with the company. So it was like, I kind of really don't want to stay here because I feel like I'm going left instead of right and up. And so, yeah, it was different.
Yeah. So you weren't enjoying your job and you were thinking you wanted to do something else, and you were a mom. How many kids do you have?
4.
4 kids. Oh man. What are their age ranges?
So 19, 16, 13, and 7.
Okay. So you got a lot on your hands, lot to deal with. Okay. So how did you find joy, and what made you think that this might be something you might want to do?
So I found joy, of course, all of us scrolling through Facebook. For some weird reason, it was like I just could not keep from seeing all of her different posts. Hey, get my book. Hey, start a preschool. And I was like, you know what? I done seen one too many. Let me just click on it and see what it is. And of course, it's a great book. Start your preschool. How to start your preschool. Okay, because we've all known, yes, we can definitely do daycare because I've done that before. It didn't really work out, which is why I did the 9 to 5 that I did. And so I said, you know what, let me just take a chance, take a leap of faith. Let me get the book, only covered the shipping, read the book. And I was like, okay, this is different. This is real different. And then no sooner than I got the book, she ended up putting out a challenge. And I said, okay, I'm all in for challenges. So let me start this challenge, and got in the challenge. And I was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is it. So I love the 7-day challenge. That actually took me to the next level and took me out of my comfort zone for sure.
Yeah, totally. So what happened after the 7-day challenge?
So after the 7-day challenge, I ended up putting it out there. I got 2 signups in probably 2 weeks after the challenge had ended. And we ended up getting started. 2 of them, one of them ended up, was like, finances, can't really continue right now. And I said, you know what, that's fine. Can I continue to kind of just send you the recordings since I still have another student? That way they can still kind of have that interaction together since they've already built the bond. And so from there, of course, word of mouth, she was like, hey, I'm not really paying anything, and she does these free programs, these free recordings. You should get on that. So from there, it was like I ended up getting like 2 kiddos each month, and it was just like, it was a progression. And so then I ended up doing another challenge that she had where it was the fundraiser challenge. And it was like, let me see if I can sponsor some of these babies since they're coming in off of my free recordings. Sure enough, I did. I was able to sponsor all 6 that I had by January. And so they were in it until the end of summer. In summertime, I ended up being full for my summer program. I took a different approach with the core program and just did like a specific summer to where it was just fun. I named it my Explore Adventures. And so we were pretty much exploring everything and anything, and they loved it. I ended up having probably 10 new students just from the summertime. So it was a great feeling. So I definitely appreciate the challenges. So anytime if you're like me and the challenges are going to just lift you and take you to a whole nother aura, challenges.
Ooh, I got to get in on that fundraising challenge. Okay, so your preschool is online?
It is, yes.
Okay. And you said you were sending free recordings. How's your program work? Tell us a little bit about your setup.
So my setup is I started out with just Tuesday and Thursday. I would send them a recording Monday and Wednesday.
Okay.
And so during the Tuesday and Thursday, we would kind of just do like a review of what we've learned on the recordings. And so with that, we ended up kind of just doing a brief summary, and then we kind of have like a little chit chat at the end. And most of the time they're still kind of on topic. They're not really, well, I'm going to end up doing this on the weekend or anything like that.
Yeah.
They were still really engaged. And so from there, I was like, so with that one parent leaving, and I was like, the recordings are definitely still there for you. I didn't want to, have her lose that access, because a lot of kiddos, because YouTube is just kind of open to everybody, it's different stuff out there. But it's like, because I do a specific on characteristics in core learning, that it was just like, it was something different for a lot of parents, because they're like, they don't really have the time to kind of teach kiddos about self things that they should be doing, as far as how to zip their pants, how to brush their teeth on their own, what's good behavior and bad behavior. Can you see these different characteristics in different people when we go out in public? So it was kind of a different scenario, and different people were like, just because you do offer this for free is definitely of value, because if I had the funds, I would definitely pay you like 10 times what you're offering for the price. So, because as moms, we don't really have a lot of time to kind of just structure our kiddos like, hey, we do the basics. Yeah, you got to go in there, brush your teeth, brush your hair, put your clothes on. But it's like, what's the concept behind all of that when they're doing it? And it's like, we don't really take time out to actually do that. And that's kind of what my program does. It kind of just goes a little bit more in depth with our day-to-day lives. And it's wonderful. People are loving it. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So what do you call, like, what's your niche? What would you call your niche?
So I call it just characteristic behaviors. So basically kind of like day-to-day behaviors, as far as are you making your bed, honesty, honorable, discipline, things of that nature. So it's like they're kind of just getting a new vocabulary too, because it's probably words people don't use on a daily basis. So I love the characteristic cores, and that we kind of tie it in with different subjects of math and English and writing. So it's great. I appreciate it so much that people are enjoying it. So
yeah, that's awesome. So how much do you charge now?
So now I'm still kind of at a low price, just because my summer program actually does a little bit better than the continuous learning. So with that, I only charge $97 for the 2 days, and then 3 days it's $147 a month. Yeah. And then my summer program is weekly, which is only $47 for 2 days, and then $67 for 3 days. So it's
okay. So you have I'm trying to figure out my online prices, and I just keep going back and forth and back and forth. And I'm like worried to like charge too much. So I feel like I'm lowballing, but also I feel like I'm offering a lot. So I keep going back and forth. And I have made different products in the hub so many times, and I just can't move past it, because I'm like, if I start low, then I'm going to be stuck there for, I feel like at least a year, and it's hard.
Yeah, that was kind of me too. But it was like with that summer program, I was like, hey, we're just going to kick this off weekly, just because you never know, because somebody will be like, hey, this program is really good, and she's really amazing. The teacher is really amazing. And it's like, I get different ones that come in weekly. And because it's only a 6-week program, it's like, well, you can take your pick on if you want to jump in at the 4-week mark, because you only have 4 weeks left. Or if you're jumping in at the very end of July and you only have 2 weeks, then you only just cover those 2 weeks, versus being applied to just the whole month. So it's like they jump in, and it's like, especially those that travel during the summer, it's like, I don't really want to pay that. And so it was kind of that kind of took me to where I kind of balanced it out. And it's like, the more kiddos you get, it's like it's going to average out anyway. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, maybe I should go low and just try to go for, try and get a lot of kids instead of trying to make it high and make it more exclusive. I don't know.
Yeah.
So you do
really offer a lot of value. I feel like I do, but it's like it's kind of just in there. And I feel like the more I just kind of reward different parents that bring on different people, it's like that's kind of the niche too. Like, hey, you're referring, let me knock off this month for you, and we'll just kind of go from there. So I tend to do that too, where I'll probably knock off a month when they refer like 1 or 2 people or something like that. So kind of keeping it low kind of helps, just because you can give back in a sense too to the family. So
yeah. Totally. Yeah. That's awesome. So you have 2, do you still do the 2 pre-recorded, and then the other ones are 2 live?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And have you already started registering for this coming summer?
I have, which I'm actually already full.
Wow, that's amazing.
And what's crazy is that I opened it up. Typically from last year, I stopped it. I capped it at 20. This year I said, okay, let me just, kind of just go for it and see. So I capped it at 40 this year and hit that 40 within a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I was like, wow, because I already had my previous people that was in it from last year. And then, of course, word of mouth again. And it was just like, hey, she's got her wait list open. You need to go and get on it because it's going to fill up. And I don't know if she's going to end up having spots when it gets open. So it filled up within a month, probably not even a month, but it was just like it filled. And I was like, now I'm kind of limbo if I want to open it up for more or.
That's amazing.
So
yes. How many kids do you have in each class? Are they separated into classes? Do you have all 40 at one time on your live class?
So I do 6 in each class. So I'm doing, well, I'd have to go back and see, but I know my Tuesday and Thursday, I do 3 classes. Okay. And then my Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I do 3 classes as well. Okay. So it's kind of split. I try to keep it really small just so they kind of have that connection with each other to where their bond is very, very well, because other kids feed off of each other. So it's like you keep it small, they definitely learn and engage, and they're like, well, this one is, they're very observant. So it's like if they see somebody else doing very well, or if they see somebody that's needing help, I love that part too. When they see their friend is needing some help with something, they're able to reach out and like, hey, let's just take our time. Let's take a deep breath and we'll get through it together. We can help each other. I love when they say stuff like that. It's just, melts my heart.
Cute. That's super cute. And do you have any that just do the pre-recorded, or do they all pay for the live as well?
I do have some, which I did start doing the charge now. I just did that back in January where I charged for the recordings. That I only charge $20 just for the whole month. And so I have roughly maybe about 10 or 12 that's still doing just the recording. Just because a lot of them, they're still kind of on the go, and some of them are still, they are actually in a school setting. So the recordings are kind of just the extra curriculum for them to just kind of keep that groove of learning. So yeah.
Wow. I can't believe you filled it that quickly. That's so amazing. And it was like all word of mouth?
Most of it was word of mouth. I had probably 2 that wasn't word of mouth that just found my website. And thank you for the new website.
Yes. You did. Are you on the hub?
Yes. When we got the upgrade, that took off. And thankfully it was just like 2 were I'm gung-ho on analytics. So I always go and see where people are coming from when they see from my site. And it was literally only 2 that Googled preschools and found me and registered. And I was like, okay, now that is a blessing for sure.
Wow. That's just amazing. Yeah. Wow. So is this your full-time thing now?
It's still not. It's still part-time, just because I kind of managed the schedule very well. At first, I didn't manage it too well, but now I can, to where now if I did want to do it full-time, I actually could. But I love the part-time aspect of it because I still get the time to plan and make sure my lessons are good and efficient, and then still kind of keep an eye on my analytics so I can kind of see where I need to branch out and continue marketing when it's not word of mouth. So I definitely like that. So, and just kind of having just that 3 hours a day, and then of course, family time, me time, and sticking to work still. So, but
yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask. How is your life different now from before you started this?
So now I am still working, but now with having the preschool with the 3 hours a day, that's my happy place. That's my relief of stress. That's me going into, okay, I'm not in work mode, but I'm still in work mode because it's preschool, but it's like now I'm in an enjoyable mode to where now I can just be at peace and be in a loving space and in a compassionate space, because kiddos are just they just make you love them anyway, just because. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so I'm still doing the 9 to 5, but I definitely have a lot more free time just because I know before it was just like, I would always just be like so drained. I'd end up telling my kids, not right now, give me just a couple more minutes. Let me just have some me time for a little bit. And then of course, your phone is still going off. People got to get a hold of you, things of that nature. So now it's definitely in a great place for me. So I appreciate it so much having the preschool. So yes.
Oh, that's amazing. And how do you think that being part of the All-Stars helped you set this whole thing
the
up?
support system off in the group, because without seeing everybody's levels, different levels is what kind of gets me that reach. And it's like, okay, we have some that's doing the multi-levels. We have some that's got after school programs. It's like just seeing the different varieties of everybody and seeing their success, and then everybody kind of feeding off of each other. Like, hey, don't give up, keep pushing, keep doing this, remind yourself of this. And it's just like having that culture in that community that it's like you can't lose, you're gonna be built no matter what. So
Mhm.
so I
Totally.
love All Stars. All Stars is amazing, and it's helped me grow so much. So it is wonderful. I love each and every one of you guys.
Oh, I love it too. I mean, All-Stars is like, those are my ladies. Those are my ladies
Yeah.
now. So what would you say your biggest roadblock in setting up this whole thing was?
Probably my 9 to 5, just because again, that stressful aspect. And it was like, when am I gonna have time to kick it in gear? And it was just like, you know what, enough is enough. I'm just gonna go all in and go for it. I took a couple of days off. I set up my wall, I set up my different lesson plans and all of my material. And I said, we're just gonna do it. We're gonna start recordings, whether we have anybody that's gonna do live videos or not, we're definitely gonna get these recordings out the way. So I set my schedule and I said, okay, we're gonna do 2 schedules today, 2 recordings today. And we're gonna do two recordings tomorrow. We're gonna do 2 tomorrow. So I kind of had to level myself into it and progress through it. So it was just like, you gotta get it in. But those schedules definitely help get you in gear. Because if it wasn't for me setting that schedule, I probably would still just not be doing this at all. So
That's what I need to do. I need to set myself a schedule because I'm opening mine in the fall, but I'm like, oh man, it's going to be a lot. I'm adding a lot to my plate because I'm already doing the local. And I'm like, I have to like make sure that I just set aside time to record, or else I just put it off and then I procrastinate and then I stress a lot. So I definitely need to get on that schedule setting.
Oh yes. It's definitely helpful. Definitely if you use your phone, because it'll send you a reminder. Hey, it's time to do this. So
Yeah, totally. Well, what would you say to any other ladies who were maybe not enjoying their 9 to 5 and looking for something else, but not sure if this is the right path? What would you say to encourage them?
Just do it. Set your schedule, get you a planner, write it down, mentally say it out loud, manifest it. Do whatever you have to do to keep yourself moving forward. Don't let anybody discourage you. Don't let anybody downplay you. If it's what you desire, your desires are going to be top priority. Period.
Yes. Oh, well, I'm so excited for you, and I can't wait to hear, maybe next year we can catch back up and do a little update episode and see where you're at. You're already at 40 in a couple of weeks just for your summer program. If you open it up, I'm sure it could get even more than that. So I wish you all the best of luck in your journey. And thank you so much for talking with me, Jameisha.
Thank you. See you next time.
If you loved today's episode, then you are going to love this. I want to give you a free gift in your hands. This is a copy of my book, Start Your Preschool, and I want to get it to you for free. Yes, I said for free. It is a 300-page book. It'll help you learn the step-by-step process to actually starting your local or your online preschool. Every single step that I walked myself through, as well as the thousands of women who've created their own successful preschools, have gone through the exact steps listed in this book. Not to mention, I also share 20 amazing women's stories, so you can see how not only did it work for me, but it works for amazing women just like you as well. I want to get you this free copy. Just go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get it to you today. Again, just go to freepreschoolbook.com and we'll get it right to you.